morning productivity routine for spiritual people. This is a simple routine which actually helped me so much once I discovered it. I was able to stop doing meaningless stuff in the morning, which actually didn't really help me. It helped me stop wasting a lot of time getting into some rabbit hole that took up most of my day, or social media stuff, or doom scrolling. It helped me so much to actually get things done that really matter to me. And I want to show this to you because this is so simple that you can adapt this into your own life in your own way. Because I took this from various different places after trying so many different productivity hacks and routines, which are mostly meant for people who may have a different mindset. I don't know, people who are spiritual seekers or people who are awakening spiritually, may have a different focus in their life. So I wanted something that was really aligned with me. So I based this on very solid spiritual principles of meditation and mindfulness that I could really agree with, and then kind of adapted my whole morning routine, and actually my whole life kind of started transforming because of this. So I want to present this to you. My name is Ra Nature, by the way, if we haven't met before. I'm a spiritual awakening mentor, and I primarily help spiritual seekers who are awakening, who are discovering who they truly are, and my entire life is dedicated to this. So this really helped me actually get a lot of things accomplished in regards to my teaching, my community, making videos like this to reach out and help people who are out there on the internet, on YouTube, as well as helping in a deeper way my community of mentees, my students. So I know you will get a lot out of this if you're a spiritual seeker, if you're looking to also be productive. So let's get right into it. So morning productivity routine for spiritual people. It starts actually even before your day begins. So primarily when you wake up, this is a time of power. A time of power is where it really matters what you do. A time of power is where things can shift and change, and it can have deep effects for the rest of your time and day, and it really matters. So a time of power is talked about in the Tibetan Book of the Dead as a bardo. That's a time of power where there is a transition from one kind of state to another kind of state. There are also other kinds of times of power, but a bardo is a time of power where, for example, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it is talking about from this incarnation to the next incarnation. Right? You leave this physical body and you go into a deep experience, which if you go through the experience well, where there's a lot of guidance on how to do it, and a spiritual mentor or teacher can help you do it by guiding you through it. But I digress. Coming back to the point, in this time of power in the morning, you're transitioning from a state of being asleep to being active, waking up. You're transitioning from a world of maybe you were dreaming as you were sleeping, maybe you were just resting in deep sleep and your alarm wakes you up. Whatever it might be, you are being invited, you are stepping into a new world in a way. And it really matters so much what happens during this time. So the morning time is when you start from zero. Because you're starting from zero, what happens is you have an opportunity, a blank slate, to do whatever you want much more easily. And what happens then is, like, let's talk about this in terms of physics. Physical laws apply in a different way in this dynamic. As above, so below, as within, so without. So the same principles may apply in a slightly different way. So to illustrate the physical laws, I'm going to use my tiny little cute dragon over here. Isn't he really cute? He's like, I'm a warrior dragon, but I'm cute. Look at that. So cute. Okay. This dragon, let's say if this dragon was flying right in this direction, what would I need to do to bring the dragon back towards me? He's going with so much force in this direction, so much momentum. So I would need to apply a bunch of force first to stop this dragon from going this way, or a bunch of force to kind of make a U-turn, which takes a lot of energy. You need to brake first, and you if you drove a car, you would know, or a bicycle, it's even more apparent. You'll have to just put a lot of force turning this thing around, right? But if this cute dragon was already in a restful state and he was here, I would say, come to me, dragon, and the dragon will come much more easily without having a lot of energy spent in this big U-turn or stopping and then turning back. So it's much easier. So this restful state where you start from zero is so powerful that it can determine the rest of your day much more easily. Even if you have momentum that is going in a certain way, of course you can change your day, but we set ourselves up for success and start this morning very intentionally. So what I do personally is, as I wake up, even before I open my eyes, I notice my awareness wake up. And this is possible for you if you meditate, if you're practicing mindfulness. It becomes more and more easy, but do it to whatever degree that you can. And if you're not able to be aware before you open your eyes, at least as you open your eyes, start noticing your mind. Start seeing where your habitual thoughts, or the song that you heard yesterday, or something that happened in the past that is trying to kind of come up in your awareness, how is it showing up in your mind? And once you notice it, if it is not going in the direction that you are looking for, what you can do is practice a very simple technique that I call breathe, notice, let go. BNL, breathe, notice, let go. And it's such a powerful technique while being so simple. I've gone in depth. If you want to understand the full technique, I have linked it in the cards above here. And I just want to give you a short preview just so you understand it as we talk about how to apply it here. So breathe, notice, let go. So as you notice if your mind is trying to take you away from what your goal is, what your intention is for the day, whether it's your day job, whether it is your practice, whether you're a monk or a software engineer. So when I was a software engineer, I used this for my productivity with my job, and it worked really well. What really helps is to have that intention. So one thing you can do if you want as an extra is the night before you go to bed, you can already set your intention for the next morning. This is what I'm going to do today. That's an optional step that makes things so much easier. If you don't already have a focus that is like, okay, this is what I'm going to do every day. But as you wake up, notice your mind. Before it starts running in this direction or that direction, okay, I'm going to take it in this particular direction. If you have that already, what you can do is with every breath that you take, you can stay in bed as long as you kind of establish and become stable in this. In the beginning, it may take you a few minutes to do this, but quickly it becomes so natural. So I notice, okay, this catchy song is coming into my mind. But it's just beginning because you're just beginning at zero, remember? So it does not have so much of a momentum that it becomes an uncatchable train of thoughts or this catchy tune. So you can now like, breathe, notice, let go. And it's so much easier. It's so much easier. All your meditation and mindfulness practices become so much easier in the morning because you're almost at that resting place already. So do this for a while until you kind of become stable in noticing and letting go, and then get out of bed very mindfully. Notice your physical actions. It's good to be in your body. It's good to really use all your senses because your senses are anchored in the present moment. So your mind cannot run away to the future or the past, which both don't exist. It's only this moment that is here. So use your body even as you wake up and you make your bed, or you go to the restroom, you take a shower, you brush your teeth. Use all those sensations to enrich your awareness and presence. Let it expand and expand and expand more and more. And then what happens is, because your awareness has expanded, it becomes even easier for you to catch these thoughts and tunes and stories in your mind, and be very mindful of where you invest your power, invest your time, invest your belief. Because as you invest your belief, you start taking your dragon in a certain direction which may not be what you intended. So then what I do is like, as I take a shower, shower thoughts, right? Shower thoughts are a thing where you are, as you're taking a shower, your entire body is like, you're so in your body and you're expanding, and you have all these bright ideas, inspiring ideas. So you can notice if these are ideas that you want to take note of in your mind, or want to be inspired by, want to go down that route, keep it. And if there is some random stuff that is not going to help you, breathe, notice, let go. you continue the breathing cycle, and you intentionally notice, and then you let go. You're always mindful and conscious as you do this, right? And it becomes so powerful that it starts building momentum in a certain way, which you intended. Then, right after you do the little, waking up mindfulness, and then you do your kind of morning bathroom routine of taking a shower, brushing your teeth, etc. Then you sit down to meditate. So a morning meditation practice can be really, really powerful in a way that it brings so much energy, enthusiasm, and power, while also helping you go deeper into your spiritual practice. You're going inward. You are having a glimpse of your divine nature, and you start your day with getting in touch with your higher self, which makes all the difference, which continues to give you all that motivation and momentum and meaning for your life. As your spiritual awakening, you may find other things not so meaningful, but this kind of constant touch with mindfulness and meditation, both are very helpful. So, and you may ask what meditation practice to do, what technique to do, because there are like hundreds of thousands of techniques, there are so many. But what I teach my students who are beginning or who are intermediate, there is a balanced way of developing different areas of your life. It's all about balance. By using 3 different chakras, to practice on 3 different chakras. If you would like to know more about that, just put it in the comments. If there is enough interest, I'll create a video about that and we'll go into detail about it. But in short, you practice a meditation technique which empowers your day-to-day life, being here on this earth in this 3D reality, by practicing a kind of a warrior energy, focusing on the navel chakra. Then you practice empowering your heart chakra, your loving kindness energy, and you're bringing up your energy to the heart. And then you develop that compassion and love and connection through the heart chakra, which enriches your life so much. And then you bring your awareness to your third eye chakra and empower that, which brings wisdom, insight, seeing into your life. So it's then it becomes a very balanced practice, which also takes you deeper and deeper into your awareness of your own light. So, but if you practice some other meditation, that's also good, and whatever works for you. But this is what I teach. And after this meditation practice, what happens is, if you're doing it right, you should feel empowered. You should feel enthusiastic. You should be like, oh my God, yes, I'm going to do this. Such a beautiful day. I'm going to make the best of the day. Carpe diem, right? Seize the day. And that is the perfect kind of energy to put into your work. Because work is also your practice, karma yoga. Work is not just work that is meaningless, whether you're doing a 9-to-5 job or whatever mission you are on to help the world or heal people or teach like I am. um, that is your karma yoga. Karma yoga is the path of action. Krishna talked about this quite in length. This is where it comes from, the Bhagavad Gita. And karma yoga is selfless action that leads you to become one or realize your oneness with divinity. So, yoga, a lot of people think yoga is like Pilates. You go and you stretch and maybe you say a mantra or two, you do different asanas and whatnot. But that hatha yoga or physical yoga is just the very beginning of preparation for what is truly something much more profound, much deeper, much more beautiful, which is realizing your oneness with your divinity, becoming one with God. That is where the word yoga comes from. So karma yoga is how you put your energy into work in a way that is not self. Self is the ego. Self is our separate consciousness. But when you go so deep into your work that it removes self in a way, you get so involved. So you may have had this experience with something or the other, whether if you were riding a roller coaster ride, or for me this has happened in multiple ways. Like once, one of the most beautiful ones was when I was riding my motorcycle. I was riding my motorcycle so in the flow in the mountains in Kerala in South India, and it just became a meditation and I disappeared. And this has also happened when I was programming, when I was doing my work, when I was so focused and concentrated on what I was doing. I used to have this big screen in front of me that kind of like wrapped around, and I used to sit like this and have my keyboard here and I would just kind of be so deeply in focus with my work that I would forget myself. I would be in the flow, as they say, for a really long time. And there's a lot of scientific basis to this as well. But to really understand your dynamics of your mind and apply it is very simple. So just go deepest into the tasks that you have in the previous night, or as you were showering you had these shower thoughts and inspiration of what to do, or as you were getting out of meditation you may have had like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Like I had the idea for this video like this, oh, this is what I should do as a video for YouTube. So I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I applied all that energy into this video, and this is the result. Right? So this is a very meta explanation of what I do. So apply all your energy into your work or whatever task you're doing, and keep going as long as you can. Keep going deeper and deeper into that, and be mindful of anything else that diverges you from this. So create a space, a container for yourself which helps you do this. So it may mean keeping your phone in the other room where you're not pulled by the phone to do social media scrolling, or getting into some rabbit hole about some conspiracy theory or whatever, right? And anything else that distracts you, just keep it away. in the next room, or keep it locked somewhere and put a very difficult barrier between you and that thing which makes you distracted, and have a space in which it makes you work. There is nothing else to do. As much as possible, there is nothing else that distracts you from the work. So having a setup, a desk where everything takes you towards this momentum, everything adds to your momentum, accelerates your momentum towards your goal, rather than pulls you this way or that way. So do that, and really let yourself go so deep into whatever you're doing that it becomes your meditation. Whatever you're doing, that it makes you so present with that all barriers between you and that disappear. Like Bruce Lee would say, be water, my friend. Right? You become that. I don't know if Bruce Lee meant it that way, but when he was fighting, for example, when he was doing martial arts, he would say, oh, I don't hit, I don't punch, I don't kick. My hand punches by itself, my leg kicks by itself, because he is no longer doing that. He becomes the martial arts. So you could become your work so deeply that here it's yoga. Yoga is union, right? And there is nothing else. There is nobody else but God. If you really understand this, I made a whole video about this on the channel. I will also link it in the cards if you want to watch it. But I talked about how there is nothing else and nobody else but just God. So if you become one with your work, whatever task you're doing, you are becoming one with the divine. And there is actually no barrier of self. This is karma yoga. And you can go so really in depth that you can have these realizations, these inspirations. It enhances your work so much. You'll be the favorite employee of the month of your manager, right? If you really do this well. If that work is what you really feel is meaningful. For me, I eventually discovered as I was working is that I want to do something else. That's when I really started seeing that it's not my thing to continue to be a software developer and go full-time into teaching what I'm doing now. So it can really give you the deepest insights when you do that. So coming back to the routine, you have woken up with mindfulness. You have set yourself up going in this direction as you do all your physical work, and when you sit down to meditate, you empower your mind, your chakras and all that to go in this direction that creates this momentum. And then you start work as long as you can. Work as long as you can. Take breaks which are physical breaks which engage you in a very physical way. Whether if you want to do some yoga asana, this is the time to do it, or stretching, or surya namaskara, or you want to go on a walk. If you have a dog, you want to walk your dog or something. Take breaks that engage you in the present moment. very much, not something that stimulates you to go towards some other direction. Be very mindful, continue your mindfulness, and just like you were engaging your awareness in the morning routine that you did as you were brushing your teeth, etc., do your breaks in the same way, and then come back to what you were doing. What you could do actually before you take a break is take like a mental snapshot. Okay, this is where I'm leaving off. Maybe write down a little note for yourself, and when you come back you can start again from that point. Otherwise it can take so much time for you to re-engage and come back to what you were doing. So do that. And for me personally, what I do is I wait until the evening or late afternoon to have my first meal. And I know some of you may like coffee and do coffee breaks or start your morning with coffee. You can still adapt this to your way as you like, or you may have a breakfast in the morning. And a lot of people have like a breakfast is the first meal, strong meal. But for me, I saw that it's so many different things that I have to do, that I cannot just push myself into this momentum, this direction so easily if I do a morning breakfast and all that. But I prefer doing one meal a day anyway, usually. So I go into this so deep and take a meal break later in the afternoon or in the evening, and that gives me a long uninterrupted time, like with the longest amount of time possible, that lets me go really deep into my work. And in this time I reduce like small things as much as possible. I keep it to the end. I do the biggest, most important thing I feel in the morning that makes the biggest difference for me and my work, for my mission in the morning. And then once that is done, I take a break. I take a walking break, or I take a doing something physical, stretching break, or Surya Namaskara is a good one. And then I do, okay, these are smaller things, especially replying to emails or communication with my community, which requires me to go into different kind of thoughts and stories, trying to understand what's happening. I keep it for later, because that is a lot of context switching. You're doing one thing for a while, and then you have to think about the next thing and the next thing. So because you're changing directions again and again, it may be hard for you to keep going in one direction. So keep all those things for later in the day, all the smaller things, quick things, and do the biggest, most powerful thing in the beginning. So after the meal break, it depends on how long I've gone with my morning work, how much energy I feel I have left, and feeling into that, it depends on what you can do. So you may still have energy to do one more round of like, okay, I have taken a meal, I have really nourished my body, enjoyed the food, and you can then kind of like do one more session as long as possible for you, and then take an evening break where you are now allowing yourself to be much more free, if you want to engage with social media or watch a movie, or be with friends and family and do things which involve a lot of different things. So you start from zero, and as long as you possibly can, you just keep one thing in your mind. My teacher would say, the critical path. What is the critical path that needs to be done as long as possible? And then you do other smaller things that need to be done, and then you take a longer break whenever it's needed for a meal. And then, if possible, you continue doing these smaller things, and then you take take in the beauty of life in whatever way you're called to, and enjoy being with the people and family, etc. This is what works for me. I know if you have family, little kids, if you have a dog, if you have to take care of somebody else, you may have to modify this. But this is, if you understand the principles of this, the principle of the momentum, as we talked about with the dragon, it's easy enough to adapt to your lifestyle. And if you have any further questions about this, or any reflections or anything, insights that you want to share, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear it, and I try to respond to every comment. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more about the method I talked about, breathe, notice, let go, I'm going to link that video right here for you to watch next. Thank you so much, and namaste.